All right, guys, welcome in to the channel, Davis Mattek, and the old guy with the weird nose here on the program, Peter Overzet. Pete, here's the deal. You and I understand that if we're gonna catch up, if we're gonna chat, you gotta find a way. You gotta find a way to make it content. And I was gonna draft some BRs today, anyways. There's actually a generational ADP in BRs. I kind of wanted to have done 20 already today by the time that I streamed because I didn't want to ruin the ADP. But it's fine. We're here. We're on a Monday. Everyone's looking at the route data, bag defending. I don't know. Peter, are you more of a bag defender, or are you a if one thing goes against your guy, it's Jover guy?
Oh no, I'm a patient. I'm a patient guy. Like I tilt like my DFS lineups, because that's like what I can control. But I don't tilt best ball stuff that hard. I mean, like on stream, I pull it up and I see Chase Brown and Troy Franklin near the top of my exposures, and I'm like, oh, those guys fucking suck. But I just know the game we're playing. It is not a 3-week game. And there's things we could start to press the panic button on a little bit, but it's just like the way these tournaments work. Like you really are trying to get the worst possible team into the playoffs and then have a bunch of unique guys who all pop off. So it's just like, if you're worried about your min caches and stuff, sure. But like, if you're trying to win $1.5 million, just chill out for a little bit.
So the thing is like, I actually am not tilting DFS too much through 3 weeks. Like I haven't had a particularly good season or anything, but it's just like DFS. I think everyone just kind of universally acknowledges that DFS is hard, especially if you're not if you're not a computer bro. If you are not Nerdy Tenor, if you are not a guy who is like literally building your own shit, DFS is just pretty hard to win. Best ball, not that way. Everyone thinks they're the best at best ball. Everyone thinks best ball is easy. Everyone thinks their exposures are nutted. So it's much harder, and it takes so much time. I mean, imagine working on a DFS lineup for 8 months and then getting the slate starts, and then you're like, oh, fuck, this is the worst lineup ever made. But you then have to sit with that lineup for the next 4 months. That is a bit of what the season-long tilt feels like.
Well, the DFS, the GIF that was always popular, like the Asian dude who closes his laptop and throws it out the window. People are like doing that for best ball, but it would be the equivalent of doing that 2 minutes into the first quarter of the week 1 game or whatever. Like it's just like, I'm already done. Correct. I'm already fucking toast. It's like, no, you know what? There are still some more plays. There's some more games to come.
Yeah, and look, I'm not trying to lead the league in cope. I do have something pretty funny that I think that you will appreciate, though. Let's just take a tour through my my FFPC teams, because it is oh fuck, I didn't present the screen. I mean, this is amateur hour over here. I think this is my worst ever week in the FFPC. I mean, this is unbelievable, Peter. You're about to see a bunch of high stakes teams that are. I mean, I'm gonna get wiped out. Loss. That's gonna be a win. Loss. This is gonna be a loss.
What's our team?
Loss.
How's our team?
Super loss, I think. Tree branches. Yeah, this is gonna be a loss, and this is gonna be a loss with Juwan Jennings on the bench. Well, it's going to be pretty close. We're fading Terry McLaurin and Brian Thomas, but we left 46 Juwan Jennings points on the bench.
For fucking Tyler Johnson. Oh, man. Bummer.
For Tyler Johnson. Yeah, so that doesn't feel particular. It's just like, I mean, main event teams are expensive. It doesn't feel good to zero those out. And I don't know. What do you do on Sundays? When you log in on a Sunday, are you trying to log out? Like if my DFS lineups are not doing good, I'm sweating main events by the afternoon games, because you hope that'll make you feel better. Like, oh, I had a shitty DFS day, but like, dude, it's gonna be okay. Like, look at all these and I open up my main events and it's just all red. It's just all red scores. Yeah. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah. I now have a routine through a few weeks. At 1 p.m. when the games start, I go and work out in my home gym. I just put a TV in the garage. So now I'm watching Red Zone. And so I get a workout in, and then I eat lunch. And then at 4 p.m., I'm done watching football for the day because April wakes up for her nap, and I take her to the park or a playground, and I do not sweat the 4 p.m. game. So I'm like slowly sweating less and less. And it's actually been nice. Like I've been in such a better mood on Sunday evenings than when I watched 7.5, 8 hours of football, because you are just like miserable by the end of it. Because unless you're winning a tournament,
there's
you
literally
have something
almost
to complain about.
There's absolutely no way for you to have a good, like for me to have a good NFL Sunday, I had to have had a GPP sweat. I had to have won in cash. The Chiefs had to have won, and my FFPC teams have to be doing well. I bet that's never happened. I bet that combination of things has never happened. Made money in tournaments, made money in cash. Chiefs won, FFPC teams went well. There's no chance. There's no way it's ever gone that way.
No, and for it to go that way, you would have had to have like just the most highly concentrated exposures. And also then that means the days it doesn't go your way, literally everything loses.
Yeah, you're literally getting zeros. All right. Well, I'm trying to pull up the BBM leaderboard, but I'm a real fucking boomer with this site.
Do you like streaming gillcast this year as opposed to audio only?
Yeah, okay, so here's the issue with that. I fucking hate the chat during the gillcast. Like it's like I get pretty tilted with the swolecast chat, but the people who come in and rib me when I'm literally losing thousands of dollars, it's not ideal, man. It's not ideal when we come back in and I'm like, oh yeah, my tournament teams were bad, and people are like, how are you so fucking dumb? You didn't know Juwan Jennings was going to score 45. You're the worst fantasy player, and I'm just like, oh,
dude,
oh,
you need
dude.
I did this for a ship chasing episode when we were drafting with Leone because it got so bad. We have YouTube memberships on our channel. YouTube has a function where you can only allow YouTube members. I would start. That's a new perk. You want to chat during the gillcast? Become a YouTube member. Get all the riffraff out of there. You got to pay to play.
So I think you can do that. I think you can do that when your channel is big. I think you can do that when your channel has been around for 5 years. But I think if you're trying to grow, like you're trying to get,
which people are you trying to grow with? The people who call you a fucking idiot for an hour?
I mean, those people's clicks count the same, you know.
But do you want that? I mean, there's lots of people's audiences who have massive audiences, and it's largely filled with trolls and idiots and dullards.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's like it's fun. It's fun during best ball stuff. Like it's pretty fun. I don't hate it most of the time. It really is just the gillcast that it really tilts me. Like it really, because most of the time I'm arguing against Nate or Sammy. Like I'm already angry. Like yesterday, I'm like, Nate played Juwan Jennings in cash. So like, I was just like, this is going to be the worst. Like this is going to be horrible. I don't want to do this anyway. And then the chat was getting me riled up. But to your point, I would like to do that. But I also, like, I only get most of the time like 250 or 300 concurrents. And you start filtering that out to the only people who can type in chat are members. And then I'm like, dude, I'm talking to 5 people, you know?
Well, I will say there's a very, very easy way to A/B test that. And you go see how many subscribers you're adding when you have wide open floodgates, and then do it 1 week with just members and see if there's actually a difference in amount of new subs.
Well, can you do members or can you do subs? Because subs only chat,
you can do both.
Yeah.
You don't do subs only chat? Oh, I have that turned on for literally every stream. If you're not a sub to the channel and you have allow people to come and chat if they're not subscribed, no, you need that turned on for every
I mean, I literally don't even know how to do that. But yeah, subs only chat. I think I probably
you're paying for vidIQ and all your fancy titles and stuff, and you don't know how to go into the settings, into the customization, and turn on sub only chat.
Speaking of vidIQ, wait until you see the title of this video that me, Karain, and Jakob did today.
Oh God, your titles are they're out of control right now, man.
I mean, but they are always like the 90th percentile vid IQs or whatever. I mean, I don't really know
No,
what to do. I don't really know what to do with the titles because I like the way your titles are. Like yours are better. They're very straightforward. But again, like you have a much bigger channel. You don't need to be pulling in people searching for best ball content. You know what I mean?
no, you're doing good. Like on my live stream channel in the past month, I've added 600, and you've added double that on your live stream channel in the past month. So whatever you're doing is working. I barely add subs on my live stream channel.
Yeah, because you have reached a, I don't know what's the, like you've reached a precipice. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to be pretty close to every person who has ever drafted a battle royale and has a YouTube account is probably already subscribed to your channel. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean now it's converting because I'm noticing it with the Deposit Kingdom channel. Like I was getting some pretty big view counts just because the best ball crossover with the managed redraft bros is been pretty seamless. And because some of the big streamers like Flock and Nick and those guys have been doing best ball content, it's more palatable. So that crossover happens and I could get some videos that blew up. And then I started doing BR content for week 1 and the views just plummeted because all those season long bros aren't playing weekly DFS. So now it's like another uphill battle. You're actually converting those guys to players essentially because they weren't doing it before.
Yeah, like the BR videos that I'm doing are getting like 2,000 views, which honestly, I thought I was like, no chance. No chance our battle royale sim videos where Nerdy Tenor is in his laboratory, click-clacking away at his ASMR keyboard, going to be getting. So like I'm for right now, I'm fine with that. My whole thesis on YouTube was like, I'll figure out, I'll optimize next summer. Like I just didn't have time. I started doing it in July. Like I just did not have time to optimize whatever the channel was going to be. I just needed to start getting and like learning like what all this stuff is. Yeah, it was just too late.
That's been my motto with like everything because it's easy to stress yourself out and be like, I want the most perfect version of this thing right away. And it's just like, just chip away at it. Like you'll eventually get bored with a certain way of doing things. And you're like, oh, what if I invest some time into making this better? What do you like on my channel? I've started adding the overlay topic bars. That was something that I'd been wanting to do for a while. And I just got around to working with my designer on it. And, that was something I'd been wanting to do forever, but I just didn't have time. And it's like, you just slowly add stuff as you go and it is what it is.
Yes. Yeah. No, 100%. And it's like, I don't know. I'll figure it all out over a long enough timeline. I'd like to improve a lot of the design stuff. I would like to get a lot of I'd like to get a lot of more kind of like produced dynasty content. Because I think that actually has like a huge market, and people who are into dynasty like love that shit. Like they'll click on anything. See, I think this is not. I am. Why would you think I am not incentivized the same way? I'm just as incentivized. FFPC. You want to talk about niche? FFPC content. I mean, isn't that insanely niche?
That comment, he's well intentioned, but he doesn't know how far off that is. It's like the literal opposite. Like you shouldn't even have a FFPC screen share up right now.
Yes, correct. Yeah. I'm down to play on FFPC because my whole thing is being in the arena. Like I play every game, every slate or whatever. But yeah, the FFPC guy, like I like offered to like do what I did for the NFC with them, and he like big timed me so hard. So I was just like, I'm not doing that. I'm not interested. I'm not interested at all. All right, let's do a little exposure check. How do I pull up your? I've literally never used this website before. How do I pull up do I just click select user and it pulls up our advanced grades?
Yeah, if you hit refresh leaderboard, this will show you your teams and your advance rate.
8%. Seems bad. Seems bad. I knew it was.
And with Justin Jefferson. Oh man, because you have so much Justin Jefferson, right?
Yeah, I've got like 22%. I knew it was going to be bad though, because the Chiefs are like Debo, but really it's the Chiefs are the worst advance rate. They got to be like the worst advance rate cohort of ADPs. Like Hollywood, Worthy, and Mahomes are like the zeros. You know, they're like awful. Yeah.
Those probably because what? Yeah, a lot. I mean, but then you have Rice on a ton of those teams. He's been a smash.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not super sweating it on September 23rd or whatever, but it's not ideal. It's you'd like to be advancing more teams. Peter all the way up at 13.3%. He's shipping it.
I think maybe a refresh. This is so weird. I was looking this morning too, and I thought I was at 16%. I don't know. I think there might have been updates, but yeah.
Last updated 360 minutes ago.
Okay.
You have a lot of you have a lot of third place teams. A ton of first place teams. Bunch of teams that are only like 20 points back or whatever.
I was surprised. I thought I was going to have a little bit better advance rate because Charbonnet, Bowers, Neighbors, are all like 3 of my top 10 exposures.
Look at this top team. A classic JSN team. Brendan Rice.
Dude, I think okay, yeah, I don't know what team. Is this a Kincaid Kittle team? Jeez.
Kincaid Kittle. Elite tight end, double elite tight end, bro.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That like in the year of tight end sucking, my best team right now is double elite tight end.
Well, it's because Jalen Tolbert just had a nice little spike. JSN had the giga spike. Dobbins is one of the big advance rate guys right now. Kyron is a big advance rate guy right now. Dak is a big advance rate. I wonder why I have so. I mean, like I know my top exposures aren't great. It's just I don't know. Like let's look at this 5th place team. Why is this team so bad? Or does it not pull teams that are not advancing?
No, it does. You can
there
click
we
on.
go. Classic. A Yoshi Boss, Ricky Pearsall team. You know what?
Trey Tucker. There you go.
I think the issue is I've got a lot of teams like this. I've got a lot of teams like literally with like 4 zeros at running back. Like Jonathan Brooks, Rico Dowdle, Blake Corum, Jalen Wright. I guess that this team does have Jordan Mason, but yeah, that has got to be about as bad as it possibly gets. And like Waddle is dead. Worthy, not great. Well, yeah, these and this is an Anthony Richardson, Kyler Murray team. Yeah, seems pretty bad. I'd like to take these teams back.
Yeah. I think there's something. Yeah, I think.
Well, okay. Yeah, the best ball cabal is struggling to advance teams so far because none of us drafted Saquon Barkley or Alvin Kamara, who are the 2 best players in. And we were all drafting Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews instead.
Yeah, I mean, the same thing also happens the injuries hit earlier this year, but buys and stuff will really start to shake up these rooms. And that one of the cool things about this database is it shows you how many points back you are too. And like when you think about how binary like NFL scoring is, like some of these leads are very thin as far as a couple touchdown game or whatnot.
All right, this is my worst team. This team is in the bottom 1 percentile. Let's check it out. All right, a Caleb Williams, Geno Smith, Daniel Jones quarterback room with Christian McCaffrey, Devin Achane, Gus Edwards, Ray Davis, and Tyrone Tracy. Double zeros at tight end, Evan Ingram and TJ Hawkinson. DJ Moore, Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk, that's embarrassing. Brian Thomas, Tyler Lockett, Jalen Polk, Javon Baker, Jalen Hyatt. So I must have just gotten like sniped everywhere on this team. I must have gotten sniped on. I wonder if this is maybe a swolecast team. This feels like mission-y. This is terrible.
Do you name your teams on Underdog? Did you like name your swolecast teams?
I did. Once I started streaming, I did. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to scroll through mine. I see one swolecast here. It looks like I only have one advancing swolecast team right now.
That's pretty good. Let's see.
Dude, do you want to know how the we know nothing? So I had one team of my entire best ball mania portfolio where one night I fell asleep while drafting it. And it has one tight end, and I literally labeled it late night punt, and it's in second place in advancing. Like I barely even drafted it, and it's one of my better teams.
Yeah, looks like no swolecast teams advancing here.
So
Not
we all
even
just
close.
nuked each other.
We all just nuked each other. Lot of bad. The truth is out there with Denny.
Do you know what my auto draft team has that's really helping it is a Quentin Johnston share?
Yeah. So yes, 5/19/20. So that means it was before I even started. It was before. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. No CMC in 20%. It doesn't matter because right now what is buoying teams is the running backs who are scoring all the points. But best ball is such a game of raw points. Getting a 35 pointer here or there, or getting your wide receiver 3 scoring 21 instead of 13.
Yeah.
Don't drop the baby. So Jacob and I thought this team was really good. Jordan Love and Trevor Lawrence, Breece Hall and Breece Hall, Devin A-Chain. We probably were fist pumping Rico Dowdle. Carson Steele versus Cam Akers. You sweating, dude?
Dude, what? How many points did Carson Steele have last night?
7.9.
And what did Akers have? 9 or 10?
9.9. 8. No, 9.4.
Dude, this bet is gonna be. I mean, you're the favorite just because Pacheco's gonna be out for a long ass time, whereas Mixon and Pierce are gonna be back. So I really needed to extend the lead while those guys are out.
I don't know if you've checked success rate, but the number one running back in the NFL in success rate, his name's Carson Steele. Well, yeah, don't drop the baby with Brandon Aiyuk, T. Higgins, and Christian Kirk. Incredible stuff. Brandon Aiyuk. Are you ready to capitulate on Brandon Aiyuk and just wash your hands with him?
Well, this is one of those how the sausage gets made, because this was a bit from last year. I have more Deebo Samuel that I do.
This is how the sausage gets made. Yeah.
Did you see? I took your bit in my recap column for Fantasy Life, and I said I'm starting to worry that Brandon Aiyuk is the Kyle Pitts of Amon-Ra St. Brown's. Yeah. I think we could wave the white flag on Brandon Aiyuk.
That game is not fun for me anymore because ever since Rupesh on the Shipcast on Thursday said that Garrett Wilson is the Kyle Pitts of Justin Jefferson, which was so shook me to the core.
Yes.
That I can't come back from.
Well, it's now that for that templated Mad Libs, Kyle Pitts is the biggest dagger because he just is the proxy for all the tools in the world, the most talent, all the wish casting, and just not being as good as we want them to be. So it's the perfect guy to be the bridge in that bit.
It's unbelievable. All right, let's fire a couple BRs. I'm done. If my best ball teams are bad, my best ball teams are bad. There's nothing I can do about it now.
Are you I'm not much of an early week drafter. My take on it is I see the edge in the 12 persons. I just don't think it matters in the 6-mans when you draft.
It probably doesn't, but I assume you're not maxing it, right?
No, I'll max basically all of anything that's 20 max and down. I've been doing 50 in the main BR. I'm not trying to, I don't have the time to fully max.
Exactly. So I don't have a super plethora of time, but I've got more time than you do because I don't have a kid. So I like to max it. But if I don't draft a bunch on Monday,
that's true.
Then I'm not going to. If I don't,
you need to average 20, 25 a day.
Yeah.
So what is you going to reveal your mispriced?
This is insane. He should be the second pick, right?
Who is it? What are they at Los Angeles?
Yeah, it's not a great game, but it just doesn't even matter. Like no team is scoring points.
I mean,
Like,
I'll give you he should definitely be ahead of those 2 wide receivers.
Well, when
in
I
front of
did it,
him.
when and again, like it's so self-correcting because people realize it. When I drafted 2 teams already, and he was going at like 11. Yeah, I think he went in 11 and both of them, and now he's going at 9.5. Your expected advance rate is 16%. 16% is exact, or 16.7% is exactly average. No, Jefferson. Well, I guess actually the real answer is Barkley is probably just the one. How great is it to finally turn our backs on wide receivers now that we have BR and we can just do this.
Oh, that's the thing. I keep saying to people, I'm like, if you're tilting your best ball exposures, come draft fucking Alvin Kamara and Barkley 101 and 102 with us. It cleanses the soul. I won a tournament this weekend with Barkley. It's great. I have like 0 Barkley at BBM, and you could still profit on these guys you didn't want to draft for season long.
It's the anytime if I can, I'm just trying to hedge my way out. No, this is the opposite. I think you grab wide receivers late because the scroll wide receivers are better, but like Jonathan Taylor just can't score as many points as Saquon Barkley, because he doesn't get Barkley's just the best.
I think it's easier like the touch projection for late running backs are always going to be better. Like you're going to be able to get an Aaron Jones, a Devin Singletary guys, whereas
Brian Robinson Jr.
Yeah, but whereas the wide receivers, but then again, it's been equal, right? Like you could get Amari Cooper in the 6th round last week. You could get Neighbors in the 4th or 5th. These guys who project for huge target shares. But in general, I think the running backs are the cozier late clicks.
Yeah. So this is the key early in the week is that like Rice and Kyron is like you're not really going to be able to get away with that. Like Kyron is going to end up going ahead of Kamara probably, I would imagine.
Who do the Rams play? I haven't even looked at the schedule.
The Bears.
So it's so funny. Everyone was afraid of the Bears matchup last week for JT, but then JT torches them. Kyron goes nuts, and now no one's going to be scared.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that you have to really try and avoid doing in BRs, especially because if you are like me and you start doing them on Monday, you got to try to not get take locked into what you literally just saw.
Yes,
it's very difficult. It's just very difficult in general in fantasy to not get take locked into what you just saw. What do you do? What do you do with stacks in BR? Because this is a bit of a weird week for that.
Yeah, I normally I don't force the stacks. I just kind of let them come to me, and then if I get to the 5th or 6th round, then I'm like, all right, how do I set up this a stack here with something?
Man, I'm gonna take.
What is the tight end ADP this week? Like, where are they even going?
Well, it's really funny because Kelsey is the tight end 1, which is like that will not be the case by like Thursday or whatever. Goddard is way jammed up. McBride is low, 26 because he's questionable. Kittle 31 because he's questionable. People are done with Pitts. People are back in on Komet. Yeah, these are kind of the things that just get shaken out. And if you see an angle, the move is to take it on a Monday.
Well, I think this week is just going to kind of. So my thing is like once these ADPs are like after 20. The opportunity cost of just grabbing, and again, this is setting aside
is zero. Is zero.
You can have whichever tight end you want in every draft, and you're not sacrificing anything because the 18, 19 best players are already gone, and then everybody else is the fucking same.
All right, look, this is going to be the week that I get even on Kelsey and Worthy. Just need a big Kelsey and Worthy week, or a big Mahomes Worthy week, and it's fine. Yeah, one. If Worthy has 22 points, 22 half PPR points against the Chargers, my advance rate will be fine. Or if not, I'll be hitting the gritty.
Do you know who's a great guy to go back to, or did he just get drafted? I was like going back to Evans after the Surtain week.
He did just get drafted. We could do Mahomes and Worthy or Stroud and Dell or Diggs.
I mean, I would be Stroud, but I'm here to watch you get even on your Chief
No,
stuff, your triple and quadruple
all
like
I
that.
care about at this point is making money. I just would really like to make some money.
That
So
isn't that funny how that works? Like best ball, you can be all ideological, and then you get these BR streets, and you're like, "Fuck, I just got to make money. I can't be just doing brand plays every click."
well, it's a different game. It's a different game, right? different things are prioritized and rewarded. You like Diggs or Dell? Diggs is
I
going to be
think
like
Diggs has
90%
been,
owned.
yeah.
I mean, that's the other thing is sometimes the early stuff will just move against you, and you don't need to scroll because you'll get a weird
Yeah.
combination.
Well, that's the other thing of, yeah, I don't even think you benefit as much from the early week scroll down because you don't know what the ADPs are going to settle at. Tank Dell, this is from JJ, seen fewer than 15% of Houston's targets in each of their last 2 games. He was below a 15% target share just 3 times in healthy games last season. So I think he's Xavier Worthy on the Texans. And I think you probably there's better clicks early in the week.
I had a lot of Tank Dell last week. Really would have appreciated a garbage touchdown from all Tank Dell. What is the Peter Overzet branded take on the offense apocalypse?
The branded take on it? Oh man. You
Yeah,
mean
just
like a football guy? Like you want me to start talking about like
no,
2 high
just like
safeties?
everyone, we got Ben Gretsch, diving deep into the,
Well,
he's writing 5,000 word newsletters. What's the Pete take?
so like with anything, all of my takes are like have to do with the games we play. And my take is that not over correlating, but correlating more than you normally would, at least earlier in the season right now, why scoring so low is good. Like I'd be more open to like if you wanted to do Stroud and Tank or something, generally I think the double stack stuff is
Double
looking a little
stacks.
better with stuff being so low scoring.
Yeah, because they're also, there are only so many teams who are even interested in scoring points to begin with.
And
Like that's
and
a big part of it.
And what's so funny is you see yesterday, like there were teams who did really well who tacked on Dallas Goddard to a Hurts Devontae. And like Devontae doesn't kill you, but Goddard ends up being the tight end 1. Or, people ship the dog bowl with Brock Purdy, Aiyuk, and then they're like, fuck, what am I going to do with last round pick? I'll just take Juwan Jennings. I made the bet on the offense. And so it's like, I mean, the power of correlation is so like obviously on display in those instances. You're like, I'm not excited about Dallas Goddard. I'm not excited about Juwan Jennings. And then they're literally the guys you need to win. And you just got there because of correlation. Because you're never taking a one-off Juwan Jennings unless you're a true sicko, I suppose. But
dude, that's one of the things where it gets so frustrating. But yeah, there you go. Lou swapped in a bunch of Komet this week. Because
sometimes
Kittle.
It was back. I mentioned this on my portfolio review this morning. It was back-to-back weeks where like the auto swaps were nutted because last week there were some Evan Ingram teams that got swapped to Kittle because Kittle wasn't selected in 100% of those drafts. So you nailed that one. And then this week I saw tons of Goddard teams that were auto swapped because he was like tight end 7. So if you had I actually had a ton of those. I autoed some in like the Wildcat where I was taking Taysom Hill a bunch. And I got auto to Goddard on like a bunch of those because I was taking Hill over Goddard.
It is
better lucky than good, man.
Yeah, the CMC to Kamara in week 2. That was pretty.
Yeah.
That was pretty nice. Yeah, I in general, I actually think I probably would be buying on Tank. I think, like I don't think it's an accident that the week that Diggs leads them in targets is the week that they got shit kicked by the Vikings. Yeah. I think those things are related. Yeah.
It'll probably set up for him to be another really good scroll down guy because you just get this setup where Diggs, Nico is Schultz's ADP will still be out. I mean, that was what I won with last year when I had my 2 top 10 week. It was a Schultz Dell double stack when Nico was getting drafted in all of them. So it's like every single week, Dell and Schultz are always going to look vaguely good because you're like, they could go off here at very minimal field exposure.
All right, well, let's do it. Let's run back. Well, do you like Kyron or Nico more, or Chase? I'm less on Chase.
Yeah, I mean, Chase could be a guy, like, if Chase goes nuclear tonight, his ADP.
Oh, that, you know what?
Certainly
That's a good
rise.
point. That is a good point. And I actually like taking Burrow too. I would imagine.
Yeah.
Although I think they probably are going to score a lot of points tonight.
I mean, Washington's secondary is pretty trash.
Yeah. Yeah, the wide receiver dead zone literally starting in the first year, or in the first round. Kind of brutal, man.
I mean, yeah.
Do you think that there's going to be a big rebound in ADP next year? Like, are we going to have like 8 running backs in the first round again?
I mean, it's still so early, right? We know how much like the playoff shit like impacts how people feel about these plays.
Let's just go.
I mean,
look.
even think about if we would have redrafted, after like week 1, where Rachaad White would have gone, and if we redraft right now, like there would be just such a massive shift on like Bucky and Rashad's just based off of 1 week. That playoff recency bias will still be big.
Week 3 top rushers: DeAndre Swift, Zach Moss, Tony Pollard. Week 3 top receiver. Yeah, this was last year.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson, Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert with 405 and 3, right?
Look at Lamar Jackson not doing any favors to beat the running back allegations there. Top 3 rushers.
Top 3 rushers, 14 for 101 and 2.
Week 3, yeah.
Let's go week 2. Week 2. Who else do we have here? Look at this is pretty representative. Mike Evans, Justin Jefferson, Puka Nacua, Nico Collins, CeeDee Lamb for receivers. So that's pretty 1-to-1. I mean, that is a bunch of the guys who were drafted really high, but then the rushers: Swift, Cook, McCaffrey. Yeah. It is kind of interesting to see what's sticky and what isn't.
That was when Moss was just crushing because JT was still out. And that was when he was actually looking like healthy and spry.
Man. Juwan Jennings, first rounder 2025. You heard it. You heard it here. He probably will get drafted some. Let's do Mahomes on this one. Mahomes and Rice. Do you ever do 3 wide receivers? I literally I don't think I took 3 wide receivers once last week, honestly.
Oh, really? Yeah, I had a lot of like say if I got running backs early and then I did an Aiyuk, Devontae Smith, Chris Olave team, I had stuff like that. I thought last week was the first week where I didn't mind having some 3 wide receiver teams, where the first 2 weeks it was just like, man, all of the best late plays are running backs.
Yes. I mean, where I'm at is I have so few faith in the secondary options for these teams getting points. Like, sure, maybe Garrett Wilson can get 25, but Mike Williams cannot get 25. You know what I mean?
Yes. In what was interesting about last week is generally guys like Devontae Smith, Brandon Aiyuk are overpriced as the secondary options, but their ADP didn't move that much with them being alphas. Well, I say that loosely for Brandon Aiyuk, but
oh my God,
I thought the price, because at least you can tell yourself like Aiyuk should, in our mind's eye, it's like, wait, Aiyuk was supposed to be able to have that game.
Aiyuk was supposed to be the Jennings.
Who had that? I mean,
Aiyuk was supposed to be yeah. Well, and DJ Moore was pretty close to a huge game. Rome ended up. Ugh. Well, Rome ended up having a huge game. Obviously, and like Justin Jefferson had 4 for 81 and 1 at half, and then banged his hand on Derek Stingley's helmet, so he didn't end up getting there. But yeah. Then I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty shook seeing that I have an 8% advance rate right now. I'm gonna spend the whole fucking year. Me and Gritty are gonna have the same Jacquard and the same advance rate. I don't know.
No.
I don't know if I can handle it.
Gritty's advancing like 25% of his teams right now. He has an insane advance rate. Yeah, you don't want to. You're not in the same level as Gritty right now.
I'm not the same. I'm not the same level as. Maybe I'll just auto draft next year. All right, Pete, give me a scroll running back.
A scroll running back. How how about J.K. Dobbins? Play this game. Like Dobbins has been smashing. The KC run defense isn't as good as the Steelers. His workload has been awesome. Zach Moss is good too. Against Carolina, is that who they play? Oh yeah, that's
we have Chase. Does that
No,
is that good?
I don't. I like the running back wide receiver pairings. Look at last week, right? I mean,
other schools.
no one did like Chuba and Deontay Johnson. That pairing was a smash.
I did actually take a couple of Deontay Johnsons last week
with Chuba though. That's what I'm saying.
No.
Because I'm just saying when the offense rolls and you're not as convinced about either the upside of the quarterback or you just think you could capture some of the production via the ground. Like I really like the running back wide receiver teammate pairings.
What if Chase Brown has 180 yards and 2 touchdowns tonight?
Well, then the ADP chasing section about victory laps is going to be very entertaining.
We're gonna have to do an edit. When are they gonna do best ball resurrection? Is that gonna be
normally like week 6 or 7? I feel like
I can't. This website is bbmdb.com.
PD Donovan, Ship Chaser. I think I'm gonna get him on an After Dark one of these weeks to hear about it. His building of that. The thing that's always weird about the resurrection, and like, I mean, you know it from playing DFS, you're more into the BRs this year. It's hard to devote the extra like fantasy mental real estate into redrafting season long teams when you're in weekly mode.
Yes. Yeah. I think I probably like would prefer to spend the time. What I'm wondering is from like a content perspective, do you think that stuff would do better? Do you think like one best ball resurrection stream per week would do better than an extra BR stream? I really don't know.
I think so. Like people would love to watch you guys. I think Monday is the perfect day for it. Like Monday afternoon and evening before all the weekly stuff happens, before, the swolecast drops the first look show.
That's kind of like when people sort of think of that as like, the start of the week. The week doesn't really start until that happens.
This is what you should do, Davis. I'll give you a content idea. You guys do ADP chasing at 11:45. You should do a draft directly after that on your YouTube channel. I'll give you a lead in from the ship chasing ADP chasing. You guys have been having like 500-600 people watching. It'll auto direct. You pop right over and you draft a resurrection team right after talking about it on ADP chasing, and everybody comes over from the channel to yours. That's what you should do.
Sold. Thank God that you sat down with the director of the FBI and got this figured out, that we can now talk about our best ball teams in the regular season. I mean,
well, it was when it was that bit was going on, and then I drafted 150 of my teams, and people were like messaging me like, "Are you seriously not going to talk about these for the whole thing?" I was like, "No, the FBI called, and we're off the hook." And I'll tell you what, if the FBI hadn't called, there would have been nothing they could do. You couldn't stop them. The mob would not be stopped right now. I tell you that.
The thing, John, is the Badge Bros. They have their audience. They have their audience. The boys are not leaving. Yeah. Turns out the idea like, oh my God, you could just log on, not take a running back till round 8 and get these guys you're really excited about. Turns out, no. Turns out you don't need to be excited about Chase Brown or Jalen Warren or Tony Pollard or Tajay Spears or Zamir White or literally any of these guys. These guys were all zeros. Not great.
Do you know what? It's improvement, because the version of the Chase Brown pick for me last year was Rashad Penny, and Rashad Penny was a true zero. At least Chase Brown is on the active roster. That's a step forward.
Chase Brown could theoretically fall ass backwards into a 60-yard touchdown.
Yes. Rashad Penny, I mean, that was so sad.
A good pick. Yeah.
Aaron Jones was an awesome pick. James Conner was an awesome pick.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna lie, I am tilting. I am tilting on a Monday. I'm not having a very good time, but I'm not full tilt. I'm like 3/4 tilted. That's good. Would you do a global swap for all your Chase Brown shares to Carson Steele?
God, that's a good question.
Honestly, no. I not a global swap. I would swap 70% of them for Carson Steele right now.
All of us would swap a percentage of them, but that's why this question is so good, because it's saying it's all or nothing.
Because Carson Steele got the break of all breaks, got the literal break of all breaks. Pacheco broke his leg, is not going to play this year, and CEH is on the IR, and he pulled off 7 points. You know, the thesis with Chase Brown was that Chase Brown could be, I guess not.
Carson Steele had 17 rush attempts last night, Davis. What is going to change here? Dude, I think you have to swap it. You have to swap it.
All right, Rudman, come in. I'm doing the global swap.
I think you have to. I would do it. It would be the smart move.
The thing is this is the other thing, is Steele actually, it doesn't. It's a positive. It makes the rest of my teams better.
You need the Chiefs to fucking smash.
But they just people are already sick of me saying this. I already did it on ADP. It's like, it's over, dude. They do not care. They have got 2 field goals from inside the 1 yard line. Like, the nose of the ball is over the goal line when they hike it to kick the field goal. It's not happening for me. It's just not happening. And that's okay, because it's just 1 slate, and I'll be back next year. You know, it's fine.
Man, the doctor bit from the Best Ball Bros, where he says that it's going to be bad for you if Mahomes doesn't throw for 50 touchdowns. I feel like that ended up being a little too prescient.
Yeah, the Chiefs losing one of those games, that would have been nice. Losing the likely game, or losing the Bengals game, and also this. Yeah, they are fine. Just like 30% of their plays go for no yardage. It's just whatever. All right, I'll give you Pete. I'll give you a scroll. I'll give you a scroll this week that is going to be gone by the time you get there. By the time this game ends tonight, Jaden Daniels is going to be the quarterback 4, and you're going to have to take him.
The quarterback 4. What? Tell me the. I should just pull this up. I can look at it here.
It's Mahomes.
Hurts, Mahomes, Murray, Stroud, Burrow.
Yeah.
Okay. He can definitely hop Purdy. He can definitely hop Burrow. Yeah, I guess it's close. Yeah. If he goes for 25 plus tonight, I'm with you. He'll be the QB4.
Yeah. And that game has a really high total. Yeah. His defense stinks. The thing I like about Daniels is you don't have to correlate him either. You can just take whoever.
Are we going to get Jordan Love this week?
Sounds like it. Sounds like it.
I mean, that game could be hot if we get Jordan Love back from one of those Green Bay, Minnesota barn burners.
Are they in this? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, should I snap take Jaden Reed right here?
Right as I bring it up, you're like, holy shit. I mean, that either looks really good or really bad.
Sure, I'll take a little bit of Caleb. Here's the thing: I would like to take Trey McBride. He's probably not going to play, right?
Possible concussion.
You write the Fantasy Life newsletter. What was the report?
He has a possible concussion. I learned that by clicking the little info button next to his name on Underdog.
Michael Wilson this week's Juwan Jennings and McBride's out.
Ooh,
all right, well, I'm gonna take McBride, and I'm just setting up my swaptions later in the week. You know, there's nothing I love more than a late swap, Pete.
It's honestly, I think that's the meta. You take whatever tight end has the Q tag, because you're not gonna fucking land on the right one, but you might just get auto swap to the right one. And that's really how to play it.
Yeah. People are still like, guys, the Chiefs are going to get the most favorable whistle in the NFL. It is what it is. Pete, you lived that for a long time, living in New England. Like people getting mad at the give me a scroll wide receiver.
A scroll wide receiver? Who's our quarterback? Dude, go back to Shaheed. Shaheed stuff is so bullish. He had 20% target share in 3 games. People are going to overreact to this one. And now if he's going undrafted.
In Battle Royale, if your player has a Q tag,
I think Pius is doing a bit, but go for it.
I don't think he is.
I've explained this like 3 times on streams over the past week, and I'm pretty sure he's watching. But anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm not going to explain it. He can ask in the Discord if he wants.
I made
auto swap tight end. Win it. Easy, easy game.
When is Kitchen going to become a Battle Royale thought leader?
Dude, he doesn't have the time. Are you kidding me? He's way too big. Okay. All right. That's how we can end the show. Soccer Dave BR check.
Oh God, that's a great idea.
Soccer Dave BBM check.
How have we not thought of this?
All right. Soccer Dave is advancing 5% of his teams. So I'm not the worst player on the swolecast.
Does that say 3 of 57?
3 of 57. Now, to be fair, Russell Wilson hasn't played yet.
Dude, I literally think you could have pushed the plane with like decent positional limits and had higher than this advanced strategy.
It's a shame because he usually nails his drafts.
That's so good. I can't wait to when I write Overzet's overview tomorrow, I need to make a note for that.
Okay. Okay, Deshaun Watson. Let's see if he's got one advancing Deshaun. You know what though? Kitchen advancing 3 teams and not 0 does give me hope that maybe I can run into 16% advance rate just by getting lucky, right? Well, I think strangely 11% of his Deshaun Watson teams are advancing.
Yeah.
All right, let's see it. Mahomes and Watson.
Barkley,
Jefferson, team. Nico, Hopkins, of course, Hopkins, Keon.
Jared Wiley.
This was a swolecast team, I'm pretty sure. This was a swolecast team. Look at Barkley. Okay, well there you go. There's how that team is advancing. Okay, I just clicked that one. Joe Mixon, Jonathan Brooks, James Conner, Blake Corum, Austin Eckler. He did the Harrison London. Look at this tight end room. I fear this team will not be advancing. Even though it is in an advancing. So keep in mind right now, guys, this team you're looking at right now, this is advancing. This fantasy team is advancing. So there's a lot left to be done.
Unreal.
We should try and find the blindfold. What date was it? What date was the does anyone remember the blindfold draft date?
Man, yeah, I don't know. We would have to go look at the I think they put it on the thumbnail. If you go to YouTube,
if you guys want good content, go and find it. I want to find Soccer Dave's lowest scoring team and see if it's any funnier than my lowest scoring team. Well, this isn't really that funny. Well, he's got a tight end room of Pat Freiermuth and Jonnu Smith, which is a little funny.
The blindfolded draft was on August 28th. So this was like near the very end of drafting.
August. Here we go. So this is it right here. Samaj P. Oh, he drafted. He must have drafted another one.
Remember, it was P. Ryan in the. Oh, there's 2 there.
He must have drafted multiples on 828. Wow, he was really grinding.
This team, I'm trying to look.
This is it.
It was a Kyler, Sutton, Jake Ferguson, Chase Brown, Jerry Jeudy. Yeah.
This is it. Samaj P. Lamar.
We took Samaj P. in like the 10th round.
Oh, man. Tyreek 101. P. Ryan in the 11th. You love to see it. Jake Ferguson and Hayden Hurst.
It's honestly not that bad of a team.
I did mention P. Ryan and then Kitchen snap drafted him. Sure. How would I even tell what my best? I don't know. I'd have to go look at all the individual teams. I don't know. My best teams are ones that have Rashee Rice and no other Chiefs. So however often I was able to take Rashee Rice and no other Chiefs, those are. Oh no. Okay. let's look at this, and then Pete, we'll get you out of here. The number 1 overall team could not be any more anti-cabal. What is it gonna have?
Quentin Johnston, Barkley,
Kamara.
Oh my god, I love
no elite tight end. Michael Mayer. Well, Devontae Walker was kind of cabal.
I knew it had to have Quentin Johnston on it.
Had to have had Quentin Johnston. Here's the thing.
Wait,
I wouldn't even be that interested in having.
It's not fully cabal though. Like anti-cabal isn't taking Leggett. They're certainly not taking Devontae Walker.
Is it okay? Tell me if I'm crazy. I wouldn't even really I wouldn't buy this team from this guy, if that made sense. Like if this guy was like, I'll sell you this team for $100, I'd be like, not interested. Does that make me bad? Am I so stuck in my ways?
I would buy this team for $100, but I understand the general point you're making. That it's probably not going to have enough wide receiver firepower to get through 2 pod rounds.
Or I mean, is Derrick Henry going to be alive and ambulating?
Well, if not, he can just use Alvin Kamara.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't blow, but
Josh Allen, is it? The other thing is this team, does it have a single stack?
You're on the clock somewhere.
I'm auto some primetime paloozas. Don't worry about it. He doesn't have a single stack here.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Actually, you're right, Davis. I wouldn't buy this team. I would buy, if we had the regular season prize, I would buy this team.
Sure. Yes.
But it is not going to be able to get through the pods.
Yeah. Okay, Peter. Jesus Christ, Davis. Just embarrassing stuff. Dad comes on the channel and I lose my ability to do the overlays.
The overlays are tricky, man.
All right, Peter. I appreciate you. Thank you for giving me an hour of your time. What can people find on the Deposit Kingdom channel this week?
Yeah, that's definitely the place I would like people to go the most. I'm doing, it's like a 45-minute battle royale strategy video each week. I'm doing like 5 gems, like the best scroll down plays at each position. I then build a pick 'em with those picks. I was actually very close to hitting it, but fucking Zamir White, man, can't get those rush attempts up. And then I do some drafts, like specific angles that could be fun to try out. Like my one for this past week, one of them was a Dak double stack with Ferguson, because Ferguson wasn't getting drafted in every contest. So yeah, if you're looking for ideas, trying to dig in deeper into Battle Royale, definitely check out the Deposit Kingdom that goes live Friday late afternoons.
All right, everyone, make sure that you are subscribed there. I will be back tomorrow. I literally can't remember what the stream is, but it is scheduled, so it'll be there. So I'll be hanging out with you guys tomorrow. Hope your best ball teams are doing a little bit better than my 8% advance rate, and I will see y'all when I see you.